Hello, it's me, Dino. I'm so glad you're here with me tonight. Because together, we're going to wander slowly, softly, into the fern forest, a place where the night is gentle, the air is cool, and the giants of long ago move calmly under the silver moon. Before we step in, let's breathe together. Breathe in, hold it. And breathe out, slowly, gently. Again, breathe in, let your chest rise. And breathe out, letting your shoulders fall, letting your mind soften. You are safe now. Safe with me, safe in this ancient forest, safe in a place where nothing rushes, where every sound and every shadow is calm. Here, the earth itself sings a lullaby, and you're part of it. The path begins beneath our feet. Soft, damp earth layered with leaves cushions every step. The ferns rise all around us, taller than houses, their fronds arching high above like curtains made of green lace. Mist curls at their roots, drifting like ribbons of pale white across the ground. Moonlight filters through the canopy in scattered beams, painting silver pools of light on moss and stone. The air is cool and heavy with the scent of moss, damp bark, and hidden flowers that open only at night. Each breath fills you with freshness, and each exhale carries away the weight of the day. Inhale, exhale, slowly, softly, like the forest itself. We walk together, step by step. Your feet sink lightly into the earth, and the ground seems to welcome you. The forest hushes as we pass, as though it knows you've come to rest. Every sound is softened, the faint drip of water falling from leaves, the quiet hiss of wind sliding between ferns, the low hum of insects weaving their steady song. Then, listen. Can you hear it? Far away, a deep hum drifts through the night. Not sharp, not frightening. A low note held long and steady, vibrating through the ground, through the air, into your chest. The voice of a gentle giant, one of the forest's oldest guardians. We follow that sound, unhurried. The path glows faintly with patches of bioluminescent fungi clinging to fallen logs. Their light is soft green, painting the mist as if stars had been scattered along the ground. Tiny insects drift lazily in the glow, their wings flickering like sparks. Some land on the edges of ferns, pulsing faintly before lifting into the night again. The deeper we go, the quieter everything feels. Even your thoughts begin to soften, unraveling like loose string, drifting away into the mist. All that remains is the sound of your breath. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. The forest breathes with you. A rustle ahead. A shape moving. Slow. Immense. Calm. From the ferns, a sauropod steps into the moonlight. Its long neck sways like a willow branch, its tail trailing gently behind. The skin is patterned in grays and moss greens, blending with the trees, as though the creature were part of the forest itself. It lowers its head, brushing the tops of the ferns into its mouth. The sound of chewing is quiet, steady, like wood crackling far away in a fire. Its chest rises, falls. Then, a long breath exhales, rolling softly across the clearing, stirring the mist into slow curls. You meet its eyes, large, calm, glinting faintly with starlight. And in that gaze, there is no fear. Only reassurance. You belong here. You are safe here. The sauropod lingers, chewing slowly, then turns with unhurried grace, disappearing back into the mist. Each step it takes shakes the ground just enough to remind you how big it is, yet each movement is soft, steady, peaceful. As the giant moves away, smaller lives emerge. At your feet, tiny dinosaurs no bigger than birds dart between the roots. Compsognathus. Quick, delicate, but playful rather than fearful. They chatter in short, high notes, weaving between the ferns, chasing one another before vanishing into shadows. Above you, bird-like shapes settle on branches. Their feathers shimmer faintly under the moonlight as they rustle their wings, singing brief calls that blend with the forest's night song. One tilts its head, watching you curiously, then tucks its feathers close and drifts into silence again. The forest is alive, but not loud, not busy. Alive in harmony, in balance. Every creature moving, singing, breathing in a rhythm that is not rushed. A rhythm you can follow. Inhale, and exhale. Inhale, and exhale. We reach a small clearing. A fallen tree lies across the ground, glowing faintly with patches of fungi. The moss beneath it is soft, thick, velvet-like. You sit here for a moment, letting your body melt into the earth. The night folds around you like a blanket. Listen. The insects hum in steady patterns. The wind slides gently through the leaves. Far away, the sauropod's low breath still rumbles softly, like thunder that never frightens. Tiny footsteps of Compsognathus fade in and out, light as raindrops. All the sounds layer together into one endless song, the lullaby of the fern forest. You close your eyes briefly. The rhythm of the night is your rhythm now. Each sound matches your breath, each breath matches your heart, each heartbeat matches the earth. You are no longer walking through the forest. The forest is carrying you. Breathe in. Breathe out. The fern forest breathes with you. And tonight, the journey has only just begun. Lost in the fern forest. The clearing behind you fades as you rise once more, following the faint glow of fungi and the silver wash of moonlight. The forest seems to shift as you move. Paths open between the ferns, as though the land itself is guiding your steps. You notice how the night grows deeper, yet never oppressive. The darkness here is gentle, filled with voices soft and constant, like a lullaby sung by countless unseen caretakers. The sauropod you had followed now drifts farther away, its great body vanishing behind the curtain of trees. Yet its presence lingers, like the low echo of a bell long after the sound has faded. The ground is still humming faintly from the weight of its steps, and you feel as though the forest itself remembers the rhythm of its passing. You walk slower now, in time with that rhythm, letting it guide your breath. In. Out. Slow. Gentle. Unhurried. Along the trail, you notice the forest changing. The ferns here grow denser, arching higher until they create tunnels of living green. Their fronds brush across your shoulders as you pass, cool and damp with night dew. Each droplet clings to your skin for a moment before sliding down, as though the forest were leaving its quiet signature upon you. You lift your hand to part the leaves, and they fold back with ease, offering you space, then close gently behind you. The sound of running water grows clearer, and soon you reach another stream. This one is broader, flowing more quickly, weaving silver ribbons beneath the moon. Its surface ripples in soft patterns, catching the light so that the stream itself looks alive, a moving mirror reflecting the stars above. You pause by the water's edge, crouching low, your reflection shimmering back at you, blurred and softened by the steady current. Tiny fish dart beneath the surface, their scales glinting like chips of crystal. As you listen to the stream, another sound joins it, a faint chittering, sharp but delicate, like laughter carried on the wind. From the shadows of the ferns emerge a small group of dinosaurs, no taller than your knee. They are ornitholestes, curious little creatures with narrow snouts and bright, intelligent eyes. They dart about in pairs, their tails flicking like cats, their movements quick yet never hurried. One pauses to tilt its head at you, eyes shining with reflected light, before returning to its quiet chatter. Their voices mingle with the stream, creating a melody both playful and soothing. You find yourself smiling, watching them weave between the ferns, hopping onto rocks, dipping their claws into the water. Their presence is light, unthreatening, just another note in the orchestra of the forest. You stay still, letting them forget you, until their attention drifts elsewhere, and the night resumes its steady rhythm. Leaving the stream behind, you walk deeper into the fern forest. The ground here is softer still, blanketed by moss that seems to glow faintly under the moonlight. Each step is silent, cushioned, as though you were walking not on earth, but on clouds laid gently beneath your feet. The silence grows heavier, but it is not emptiness. It is fullness, the kind of silence that contains everything within it. In the hush, you hear a new sound, the gentle snapping of branches, followed by the rustle of ferns moving aside. You hold still, heart calm, breath slow. From the shadows emerges another giant, this one smaller than the sauropod, yet still immense in presence. It is a stegosaurus, its plates rising along its back like the sails of a silent ship. The moonlight outlines each plate in silver, and they gleam as though carved from stone. The stegosaurus moves unhurriedly, its head low as it pulls broad leaves into its mouth. Each crunch of its teeth echoes softly, blending with the sigh of the wind. It walks close enough that you can hear the steady rhythm of its breath, deep and slow, like waves rolling onto a shore. The sound calms you, each exhale syncing with your own until you are breathing as one. It does not notice you, or perhaps it chooses not to. Either way, its presence is no danger, only reassurance. To watch a creature so massive move with such peace is to be reminded that the forest holds balance in all things. Even giants here are gentle, and even silence is full of song. After a time, the stegosaurus drifts away, disappearing between the trees with only the sway of ferns to mark its passage. The forest closes behind it, as though it had never been there, leaving you once again in the embrace of night. Yet the memory of its breath stays with you, a steady rhythm that lingers in your chest. You walk onward, and soon the ground slopes upward. The ferns thin slightly, replaced by towering cycads whose thick trunks twist like pillars. Their crowns spread wide above, their leaves rustling softly with each movement of air. Between them grow clusters of horsetail plants, tall and straight, their hollow stalks glistening with dew. The forest feels older here, as if you have stepped deeper into its memory. As you climb higher, the sounds of the forest change. The insect chorus softens, replaced by the distant calls of night birds echoing through the trees. Their voices are low and melodic, rising and falling in patterns that lull you further into calm. The calls overlap, weaving into harmonies that seem endless, flowing from one note to another like water running over stones. You stop at a ridge, gazing out over the forest. The fern forest stretches endlessly, its canopy rippling like a sea of green beneath the moon. Mist curls above it, glowing faintly where the light touches. Beyond, distant hills rise, their outlines softened by haze, and above them the stars shine with steady brilliance. You breathe deeply, filling your lungs with the cool air, letting the vastness of the scene wash over you. Standing there, you realize how small you are in this world, yet never insignificant. The forest does not ignore you, it holds you, just as it holds the giants, the birds, the insects, the rivers, and the ferns themselves. You are part of its rhythm, a single note in its endless song. You descend from the ridge slowly, the moss muffling your steps. Below, another clearing awaits. In its center, a shallow pond reflects the stars above, its surface broken only by the occasional ripple of a frog leaping across. The frog's voices add their croaks to the night's melody, deep and resonant, carrying across the water. Fireflies drift above the pond, their lights flickering like stars fallen to earth. You sit by the edge of the water, the cool air brushing against your skin, the sounds wrapping around you like a blanket. You listen. To the frogs. To the crickets. To the soft calls of distant dinosaurs moving through the forest. To the breath of the earth itself. And as you listen, you feel it again, that deep safety, that gentle belonging. You are not lost here. You are home. The pond behind you fades into the darkness, its surface settling once more into perfect stillness. As you rise, the forest seems to open a new path, one that winds gently downward. You follow it, your steps slow, cushioned by moss and fallen fronds. The air grows heavier here, tinged with the scent of water and earth, as though the forest is guiding you toward a hidden heart. The trees arch closer together, their branches entwining above, weaving a ceiling of leaves that filters the moonlight into shifting patterns. Silver beams scatter across the ground, rippling as though alive, painting the forest floor in moving light. Every step feels dreamlike, as if you are walking not through space but through time itself, drifting deeper into the memory of the earth. Soon, the ground levels out and the soft sound of water reaches your ears again. You emerge into a marshy hollow, where the ferns give way to reeds and tall grasses swaying in the night breeze. Pools of dark water lie scattered across the clearing, their surfaces shining like glass under the stars. Mist curls low to the ground, gliding above the water in ribbons of white. The air is cooler here, each breath refreshing, each inhale drawing calm into your chest. At the edge of one pool, movement catches your eye. A pair of dinosaurs step softly from the shadows, their bodies graceful yet sturdy. They are hadrosaurs, duck-billed herbivores, their crests rising elegantly against the sky. They move with unhurried grace, dipping their heads to drink, their reflections stretching across the water. The ripples spread slowly outward, carrying starlight with them, until the entire pool shimmers as if filled with liquid silver. The hadrosaurs murmur to one another in low, resonant calls, their voices deep and soothing, blending seamlessly with the night. The sound is like horns in the distance, rising and falling in gentle patterns, carrying across the marsh like a lullaby. You pause, listening, letting their song wash over you. It is not a song for you, yet it reaches you all the same, weaving itself into your heartbeat until you are breathing in time with their voices. As you watch, smaller creatures stir among the reeds. Tiny, bird-like dinosaurs flit between stalks, their feathers catching faint light as they hunt for insects. Some leap into the air, wings beating quickly before settling again, their movements so delicate they seem like shadows given form. The reeds sway gently with their passage, their rustling joining the marsh's quiet symphony. You continue walking, following the edge of the water. The ground is soft, yielding underfoot, and each step releases the earthy scent of peat and moss. Frogs croak in deep, steady tones, their voices carrying across the pools like ancient drums. Fireflies drift above the water, their lights flickering in patterns, rising and falling like sparks of thought floating into the night. The marsh is alive, yet it asks nothing of you except to breathe, to walk slowly, to listen. In the distance, another sound emerges, the heavy rustle of ferns bending aside, followed by the measured thud of weight upon the ground. You turn your head and see a shape moving through the mist. Broad, low to the earth, its body armored in thick plates, its tail heavy with a bony club. An ankylosaurus. It moves with surprising quiet for its size, each step deliberate, each breath steady. Its back glints under the moon, each plate shining like polished stone, its form both powerful and calm. The ankylosaurus pauses at the water's edge, lowering its head to drink. Its tongue ripples across the surface, disturbing the reflection of the stars. The ripples spread outward, merging with the gentle waves of the hadrosaurs nearby, until all the waters of the marsh seem to breathe together. You watch the armored giant and feel no fear. Its presence is grounding, like the earth itself has stepped into the clearing to remind you of its strength and stillness. For a long moment, all is harmony. The hadrosaurs murmur softly to one another, the ankylosaurus drinks in silence, the frogs keep their steady rhythm, and the insects weave their quiet chorus above. You are one with them, part of the marsh's song, part of the night's endless breath. Eventually, the hadrosaurs step back into the reeds, vanishing like shadows, their voices fading into the distance. The ankylosaurus turns, its heavy tail swaying gently as it disappears into the mist, the sound of its steps merging into the hush of the forest. The marsh falls quiet again, yet not empty. The silence left behind is full, rich, holding you close. You continue onward, the path leading you away from the marsh and back into denser forest. The ferns close around you once more, their fronds brushing lightly against your shoulders as though guiding you forward. The air grows warmer here, scented with flowers hidden among the shadows. Some release faint glows, their petals tipped with bioluminescence, scattering soft light across the ground like fallen stars. The deeper you go, the softer the world becomes. Your steps slow further, your breath deepens, and even your thoughts grow hushed, settling like leaves drifting onto water. The forest holds you in its rhythm, its timeless song carrying you deeper into stillness. At last, you come to another clearing. In its center stands a circle of cycads, their trunks thick and ancient, their crowns spreading wide like guardians watching over the night. At their base grows a carpet of moss, glowing faintly in patches, a bed laid out by the earth itself. You step into the circle, the air cooler here, the silence thicker, the sense of safety deeper. You sit upon the moss, closing your eyes. Around you, the forest continues its endless lullaby, frogs, insects, birds, the distant echoes of giants. Each sound folds into the next, until there is no separation, only harmony. You breathe with it, slow and gentle, the forest's rhythm guiding you toward rest. The night stretches on, timeless, endless, carrying you further into its embrace. And in that embrace, you are not lost. You are found. The circle of cycads slowly fades behind you as you rise again, your body light, your steps guided not by thought but by the rhythm of the forest itself. Each movement feels dreamlike, as though you are floating through air thick with mist and memory. The soft carpet of moss lingers in your senses, and with every step away from it, the forest seems to offer a new gift of calm. The path ahead curves downward into a shallow basin where the ferns grow taller still, arching over you like great green curtains. They filter the moonlight into shifting veils of silver, so that the entire world looks painted in soft watercolor. The air here is cooler, heavy with the scent of wet leaves and blossoms opening in the dark. Some flowers, pale and luminous, glow faintly, their petals catching the light as if they had stolen it from the stars. As you pass, a breeze drifts through the basin, rustling the ferns. The sound is like the turning of 1,000 pages in a book too vast to ever be read. Each frond sways, brushing against its neighbors, until the forest hums with a low, steady whisper. You pause to listen, realizing the sound is not random, but rhythmic, like breath, like song. Then, from deeper in the forest, another sound joins it, long, rising, and resonant. A note stretched into the night, low at first, then climbing into a haunting melody that echoes across the basin. You look up, and there they are, Parasaurolophus, duck-billed dinosaurs crowned with long, curved crests. A small herd moves gracefully between the ferns, their bodies casting vast shadows across the ground. One lifts its head, breathes deep, and releases another call. The sound flows like the voice of a horn carved from stone, reverberating through the air until the forest itself seems to vibrate with it. The others answer in turn, their voices overlapping, weaving into harmonies that rise and fall like waves. The song is both mournful and soothing, a lullaby older than memory. You stand perfectly still, listening. The calls echo across the basin, carried by the mist, until it feels as though the entire night is filled with their music. Each note lingers, folding into your chest, softening your heartbeat, guiding your breath. Inhale. Exhale. The forest sings, and you breathe with it. The Parasaurolophus moves slowly through the basin, feeding on the tallest fronds. Their tails sway behind them like pendulums, marking time in silence. One calf stays close to its mother, its smaller crest glinting in the moonlight as it mimics her movements. Together, they graze in calm rhythm, untroubled by your presence, as if you were always meant to walk beside them. Beyond them, the basin opens into a grove where the trees grow wider apart. Their trunks twist upward like spirals, their roots thick and tangled, rising from the ground in knotted shapes. Between them lies a shallow pool, its surface so still it reflects the night sky perfectly. Stars glitter across the water, mirrored in infinite patterns, until it seems as though the pond itself is another sky. You kneel at its edge, trailing your hand through the surface. The ripples spread slowly outward, bending the stars into shimmering waves. For a moment, you feel as though you are touching the night itself, shaping it with your fingertips. The air around you grows cooler, the silence deeper, until all you hear is your own breath mingling with the faint echoes of the Parasaurolophus still calling in the distance. From the far side of the pool, soft footsteps emerge. You glance up, and in the mist, a shape takes form. Round-headed, sturdy, its body balanced on strong legs. A Pachycephalosaurus steps carefully from the shadows. Its domed skull catches the moonlight, gleaming like polished marble. Yet there is no aggression in its stance. It moves slowly, almost tenderly, lowering its head to drink from the pool. Each sip sends gentle ripples across the mirrored sky, distorting the stars until they settle once more. You watch as another joins it, then another, until a small group stands together at the water's edge. They drink in silence, their movements calm, unhurried. Occasionally, one lifts its head to gaze across the forest, eyes soft with the reflection of the moon. Then, without sound, they drift back into the shadows, their forms dissolving into the mist as if they had never been there. The pool grows still again, the stars shining as bright as before. You sit back, letting the scene wash over you. The forest seems endless now, every turn offering a new moment of quiet wonder. You close your eyes, breathing deeply, and the sounds fold around you like a blanket, the faint splash of the water, the distant calls of the Parasaurolophus, the whisper of wind through ferns. The night stretches long. You walk further, the path leading upward once more, the ferns giving way to towering trees whose branches spread like open arms. High above, faint shapes flit between the branches, small pterosaurs, their wings rustling as they glide silently across the sky. Their silhouettes pass across the moon, fleeting shadows moving in endless circles. Beneath them, the forest glows with fireflies drifting in clusters. They pulse in patterns, brightening and dimming, as though they are speaking to one another in light. You walk through them slowly, the glowing air surrounding you like a living constellation. For a moment, you feel weightless, as though you are walking through stars, each spark guiding you deeper into stillness. Finally, you reach a rise overlooking another clearing. From here, the forest stretches outward in rolling waves of green, the mist rising above it like breath. The night is vast, but it is not empty. It is full of life, full of song, full of safety. You stand quietly, breathing it in, until you feel your body soften, your mind grow light, your heart fall into the rhythm of the earth. The fern forest holds you. The night carries you. And you drift further still. From the rise above the forest, you begin to descend once more, following a trail that winds gently downward. The moss is thick beneath your feet, muffling every sound, so that even your own steps feel as though they belong to the forest's quiet song. The mist curls in silver ribbons around your ankles, drifting with the breeze, carrying the cool scent of water and leaves. The path widens, leading you into a broad valley where the trees thin and open into a vast wetland. Pools stretch out before you, some wide as small lakes, their surfaces shining beneath the moon like sheets of glass. The air here is cool and heavy, filled with the low hum of insects and the occasional ripple of frogs calling across the water. Fireflies drift above the pools, their lights rising and falling like lanterns floating in the night. You move slowly to the edge of the nearest lake. Its waters are calm, reflecting the moon so clearly that it seems as though a second sky lies beneath the surface. You kneel and trail your hand along the edge, watching the stars ripple and break, then settle again into stillness. The cool air brushes your skin, and the silence holds you closer, deepening with every breath. Across the water, a new sound stirs. A low, resonant call, deep and melodic, rising like the note of a distant horn. Another answers, softer, then another, until the entire valley hums with layered voices. You look, and from the far side of the lake emerges a herd of Corythosaurus, their tall crests rising like crowns against the moon. They move together with graceful unity, their long tails swaying slowly behind them. One steps forward, lowering its head to the water. Ripples spread outward, catching the moonlight, shimmering like liquid silver. The others follow, some drinking, some grazing at the water's edge. Every few moments, one lifts its head and releases another call, a deep, resonant tone that echoes across the lake, folding into the night's music. The sound is haunting, yet soothing, like the earth itself singing through them. As you listen, the calls begin to feel like a song meant not only for each other, but for the entire forest. The notes vibrate through the water, through the reeds, through the ground beneath you. You feel them settle into your chest, aligning your heartbeat to their rhythm. Inhale. Exhale. Each call guides you deeper, each breath slower, until you are part of their harmony. Closer to where you sit, smaller movements stir among the reeds. A group of Compsognathus dart lightly between stalks, their tiny bodies weaving in and out of the grasses. They chatter softly, their high-pitched calls sharp but not harsh, adding quick, playful notes to the deeper chorus of the Corythosaurus. You watch as they chase one another in short bursts, then pause, tilting their heads curiously at you before vanishing into the reeds again. Their presence is lively, but never disruptive, just another layer in the tapestry of the night. Above the water, faint shadows cross the moon. Pterosaurs glide in silence, their wings stretched wide as they circle slowly in the air. They drift with effortless grace, their movements so smooth they seem to float on invisible currents. Occasionally, one dips low over the lake, its reflection sweeping across the water like a ghost of flight, then rises again, merging into the sky. The valley is alive, but in its aliveness there is peace. Each sound, the calls of Corythosaurus, the chatter of Compsognathus, the croak of frogs, the whisper of wings, blends seamlessly into a single symphony. There is no conflict here, no urgency. Only balance. Only calm. Only the steady rhythm of a world breathing in harmony. You sit at the water's edge, listening. The air is cool, the ground soft, the sounds a lullaby that deepens with every passing moment. You close your eyes, and the calls of the Corythosaurus wash through you like waves. They rise, they fall, they fade into silence, then return again, steady and eternal. Your breath follows, slow and gentle, guided by their song. When you open your eyes again, the mist has thickened, rolling across the surface of the lake in soft curls. The herd has begun to move, their bodies dissolving into the fog until only their silhouettes remain. One by one, their calls fade, until the valley is left in near silence, broken only by the faint hum of insects and the soft splash of water. The stillness that follows is not empty. It is full. Full of calm, full of safety, full of the memory of the herd's song. You feel it lingering in your chest, carrying you forward as you rise once more, leaving the lake behind. The trail leads you through reeds that part easily, brushing lightly against your arms as you pass. Beyond them, the forest gathers again, the ferns rising tall, arching overhead in vast green fans. The mist curls between them, glowing faintly where the moonlight touches. You walk slowly, each step steady, each breath deep, letting the night carry you further into its embrace. As the forest closes around you once more, you realize that you are not walking alone. You are moving with it, with the trees, with the water, with the calls of creatures fading into the night. The forest's rhythm has become your rhythm, and with every step, you sink deeper into stillness. The night deepens. The forest breathes. And you are carried, gently, endlessly, further into the heart of the fern forest. The mist gathers more thickly as you step deeper into the fern forest once again. Behind you, the wide lake and its chorus of calls fade into silence, leaving only the gentle rustle of leaves and the steady rhythm of your own breathing. Each step you take feels softer now, lighter, as though the forest floor has become a cradle designed to carry you without effort. The ferns rise higher here, arching overhead until they form long green tunnels. Moonlight filters through in broken fragments, scattering across the mist in silver beams. The air is cooler, filled with the scent of damp stone and blossoms that bloom only in the dark. Tiny motes of pollen drift through the air, glowing faintly as they catch the light, like sparks floating in slow motion. As you walk, the sounds of the forest thin. The insects grow quieter, their hum lowering into a faint vibration, barely more than a whisper. Even the wind slows, moving with such gentleness that it feels like the entire world is pausing, holding its breath. You feel that you are moving into the deepest part of the night, a place where time folds in on itself, where every sound, every step, every breath is part of a rhythm older than memory. Ahead, the forest opens into a glade. In its center lies a shallow meadow carpeted with moss that glows faintly in the moonlight. The ground dips slightly, forming a natural hollow. Within it rests a small herd of dinosaurs, sauropods lying close together, their immense bodies curled like mountains at rest. Their flanks rise and fall in perfect unison, each breath slow and deep, a rhythm that seems to echo the earth itself. You stand at the edge, watching them sleep. Their tails curve gently across the moss, their long necks tucked close, their eyelids heavy and still. Occasionally, one exhales, releasing a deep sigh that rolls across the glade like a wave of calm. The mist swirls around their bodies, rising and falling with each breath, until the entire clearing looks as though it is breathing with them. You step quietly into the meadow, careful not to disturb the peace. The moss cushions your steps, absorbing every sound, welcoming you into the stillness. You find a place at the edge of the herd and sit, the cool earth soft beneath you, the silence surrounding you like a blanket. The warmth of the sauropods lingers in the air, a living presence that comforts without words. Around the glade, the forest continues its endless lullaby. The occasional chirp of a night bird. The faint ripple of a stream hidden beyond the ferns. The whisper of leaves shifting with the breeze. Each sound is delicate, spaced far apart, like notes played slowly on an ancient instrument. Together, they weave a song of rest. Above, the sky is clear, the stars bright and steady. They shine between the ferns, mirrored faintly in the dewdrops clinging to each frond. You tilt your head back, watching them shimmer, their light mingling with the faint glow of fireflies drifting lazily above the meadow. For a moment, the boundary between earth and sky dissolves, and it feels as though you are floating between the two, weightless, timeless, endless. Your breath slows further, falling into perfect rhythm with the sleeping herd. Inhale. Exhale. The sound of your lungs joining theirs. The silence is complete now, not empty, but full. Full of presence, full of safety, full of the gentle embrace of a world that has accepted you completely. You close your eyes, and the darkness is soft, filled with the steady heartbeat of the forest. You feel the ground beneath you, the air around you, the slow rise and fall of the giants nearby. All of it together becomes a cradle, rocking you gently, carrying you deeper and deeper into stillness. In the fern forest, you are not lost. You are home. You are safe. You are carried by a lullaby older than time itself. Breathe in. Breathe out. And let the night hold you.